Zenless Zone Zero characters are not original. Now, before you guys get out your pitchforks, hear me out. This isn't anything to talk about Zenless Zone Zero as a game, but rather someone or someone's on the design team at Hoyoverse clearly has taken heavy inspiration from another game. And that really falls into the realm everywhere from character inspiration to let me copy your homework, but just change it a little bit, right? To just blatant plagiarism. And I want to talk about it because, honestly, it's something worth talking about, and I haven't seen anyone talking about it. In a lot of these cases, the examples that I will show you definitely fall within the realms of legally distinct, and are within, qualifications that I would give as, genuine inspiration and no harm done. I think a good character example of that is Ellen, who I think when you address the fact that someone on the team very clearly has taken heavy reference from Alchemy Stars in the past, the influence is there. You can pinpoint that. But when taking from these two characters, you create a new, completely original character to Zenless Zone Zero. That's, I don't want to say how character inspiration should be done, but it's an example of it that's done inoffensively, that's done well, I guess. But when we start looking into other characters, how this character looks exactly like Tiny One from Alchemy Stars, or how this character looks like this one, there's a lot of examples that I could pull from that share really close resemblance, and if it were just one or two instances of it, I'd definitely be willing to say that it falls within the realm of possible coincidence. But there's too many to really hit coincidence when you start stacking up just how many similarities there are between some of these characters. It really becomes impossible to deny that direct inspiration was taken from this game. I said it earlier, but obviously all these characters come from one game, Alchemy Stars. And again, if these were all from different games, different inspirations, that would make it fine. People do that. That's normal. But to continually take heavy inspiration from the same game over and over again, I start having an issue with it. And this is without addressing the elephant in the room, and that is Anton and Shinsa. I don't really care who you are or what your background is. These two characters look identical. To the point at which if you saw one and didn't know the other, you would think that it was just a bad fan art of the other, right? And that's where my realm of concern starts, is while Alchemy Stars predates Zenless Zone Zero by 3 years, the internet breeds stupid, respectfully, and I could definitely see a world where fans start accusing Alchemy Stars of being the ones in the wrong, despite the fact that they aren't. They came first. And Alchemy Stars is aware of the issue, but there's not really anything they can do about it. MiHoYo is just so much larger of a studio, and even if they had realms for legal action, there's just no realistic world where they could do anything about it. Not to mention the fact that I do believe a lot of these fall into the realms of legally distinct. I'm not a lawyer, so I really can't say on that, genuinely, but it's funny, because in the VTuber space, recently there's been 2 cases, very recently, of plagiarism that really blew up on Twitter and had people almost persecuting the thieves. And they were such a big deal because art theft and copying of designs is a big deal. But there's one case in particular that happened most recently, where you had a smaller, kind of lesser known creator very heavily taking inspiration from a much larger VTuber. And when you break down these designs, they're definitely different enough that I think that you fall into the same category that Alchemy Stars and Zenless Zone Zero does, of this, like, legally distinct but blatant copy, right? And in the case of these VTubers, you have a smaller creator copying from a much larger creator, and the intention is pretty obviously to try and gain attention from the larger creator's audience. It's siphon a little bit of that viewership, that, whole no press is bad press kind of concept, right? But ultimately, these actions don't hurt Shy Lily at all. Shy Lily's viewership, Shy Lily's income, none of that is affected. It's a nuisance at worst, right? But in the case of Hoyoverse, and I keep calling it Hoyoverse, Hoyoverse, whatever. In the case of Hoyoverse and Alchemy Stars, Hoyoverse is the bigger fish in this battle, right? Alchemy Stars can't do anything to Hoyoverse. Hoyoverse is the bigger individual here, and they are taking from the smaller individual, which is where the problem comes in. There's nothing Alchemy Stars can do in retaliation. They're aware of it. They made an in-game mail about it, right? And they're just trying to laugh it off because that's the best that they can do. But it does steal their viewership. It does affect their viewer base, their fans. And Zenless Zone Zero fans are not gonna say are, but could potentially be combative back. And it is a negative for Alchemy Stars. And that's where my issue is. And not only is this just morally not really okay, in my opinion, but it does hurt the smaller individual. And this isn't the first time Hoyoverse has done this, because, like, as I said, one example I'm more than willing to write off as a coincidence, and there has been the one example in the past. Like, I remember a lot of people pointing out when Dr. Ratio was announced that he looked really similar to Novio. Which is, again, an Alchemy Stars character. And there's similarities there, definitely. They have the same palette, same motifs, same kind of hairstyle and look to them. But, sure, coincidence. I'm willing to accept that. Enter Zenless Zone Zero, and you have repeat case, to the point of which even things like Zenless Zone Zero has been getting a lot of praise for having much more unique and diverse designs, as far as things like, have you ever seen a bear before in a gacha game? It's like, oh, actually yes, in one game very specifically. Fancy wolf in suit. It's like, all these little things aren't really an issue by themselves, but when you add them together into the much bigger whole, it starts becoming a lot more of a problem. And again, this is all aside from just how apparently, like, just blatant Anton and Shinsa's designs are. It's like, even without those two, it's like, I would be willing to give benefit of the doubt, because that's the kind of person I am. But there's no world to me where these two designs, like, Anton was not designed without the knowledge of Shinsa. Impossible. From the shape of the hair, the headband, the coat, the face shape, the eyebrows, it's too similar. It really is blatant. And I just, the fact that no one is talking about it makes me believe that part of the reason that they are so bold in taking from Alchemy Stars like this is because Alchemy Stars is a smaller game, and they don't think that it has the viewership or the, like, fan base behind it to really point out these kind of similarities between the two of them. Or maybe they're just so emboldened that they think no one will notice. I don't know. But it's like, it's noticeable. And I think it's something that we as a community should be talking about, because even if it, again, falls into this realm of legally distinct, I don't think it's okay. I don't think a large company like Hoyoverse, who can afford to hire really awesome character designers, should be copying designs from smaller gacha games. I don't think that should be a controversial statement. And it's like, characters are the lifeblood of a gacha game. So the fact that your character designs aren't original to your own gacha game is problematic. And I'm not saying every character in Zenless Zone Zero is inspired by Alchemy Stars or is inspired by other games at all. I'm not. But some are. And that's the issue. I don't know. I'm just trying to open up a conversation about this because I think we as consumers should be talking about this. We should be, you know, on the same page here. I don't think this is okay. But let me know what you guys think, because again, I just want to have a conversation about this. It's an interesting topic, and in case, because I feel like it's my obligation now at this point, in case you haven't played Alchemy Stars, maybe go check that out, because it's a pretty fun game. It's a different genre from Zenless Zone Zero. It's more of a, I don't know, strategy game, I guess? I don't know, it's not an action game like Zenless Zone Zero is, but it has some really awesome character designs, if that wasn't apparent. But yeah, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye!